on, everybody? It's Dave Drake with the Collective Experience, and I've got something really special for all you guys. I decided to grab all of my favorite buddies, Luke Visconti, Bryce Rankowitz, and of course, AJ Catanzaro from our patent.
As he fades into the distance.
And we are going to talk about and give you guys an inside look at last year's world-renowned and super viral experience at the Travis Pastrana compound when we had our straight rhythm effort. It was huge. It kind of stopped the whole moto world on its head for a little bit. And we want to talk to you guys about it and kind of give you some background on how it all came to be, our favorite moments, give you guys some cool clips and behind the scenes stuff you might not have seen. And all of a sudden, disappears. And yeah, we're just going to be total jackasses about it because that's, we're going to get right into it. Guys, you want to go around and say how we all came about with this? I mean, AJ, everyone knows you, so you'll go last. Luke Visconti, one of my favorite people in the world. Tell everybody about who you are. For the few people who might not know who you are, how did you get involved with this harebrained, just mashup of a group? And what are you all about, buddy?
All right. I will, long story short it, from Southwick, Massachusetts, grew up racing motocross, a little bit older than AJ. He just kicked my butt all the time on 60s when I was on big bikes, so screw him. But yeah, lived down in Virginia now, just happened to moved down about the same time as AJ, and we pretty much are.
AJ, I mean, Luke, are you on a pogo stick? Sorry to interrupt.
I'm on my cell phone because I don't have a laptop.
Looked a little bouncy there for a second.
I'm trying to hold it steady while I'm talking about that. Yeah, pretty much. I ride bicycles with AJ with tight clothing. It's pretty fun. And basically, we're riding one day, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing in like 2 days? Do you want to go to Pastrana's house?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll cancel my entire life to go do that. So sure, I'm coming." So I thought it was like, he pitched it as it was him, I think you, Dave, and then he's like, one of my buddies from Connecticut, and I think Allie might come one day, and that's not how it ended up. So
it never is. Yeah. He always says the group is going to be this small, and AJ has like 15 freaking people show up, and he's like, and the shitty part is he will say, "Oh no, dude, you're all set. I got you in. You're good." And the minute you call them, be like, "Hey, we still on?" It's like, I have.
Oh yeah. I should probably ask if you guys can come.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
Yeah. Oh, also, Luke didn't mention it. Luke is also very fast on a dirt bike. He left that part out. He's being really, really humble. Next, we've got Mr. Bryce Rankowitz. And if you guys are a fan of the Behind the Gate podcast, like myself, you will know Bryce very well. Bryce is very good at some things that are two wheels. Dirt bikes, not so much. Bicycles, hell yeah. Bryce.
Whoa. I resent that.
You make a for on downhill, dude. I'll give you that. Yeah,
he's right in the woods, and he wears a lot of bright clothing.
There we go.
Right.
Bryce, how did you get roped into this whole thing as well? Like, how did you get the whole call to come down to Pastrana's?
See, actually, I was the one who was originally invited. I was invited before AJ, and I had to actually tell AJ about it. And then I don't know why he invited you guys, but no. So we do the podcast together, and anybody who's listened to the podcast kind of knows that I've been instrumental in AJ's mental health for the last several seasons of Supercross.
Now it all
training
makes sense.
partner. See, that's why he sucks. So I mean, that's why
he can't keep it together.
Yeah. No, so we're always talking. We've always vibed, and he's like, "Hey, I might be going down to Pastrana's do a Pastrana tribute for a straight with him." I was like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" And long story short, it came to fruition, and we got an invite to Pastrana's, and like you said, Dave or Luke, I thought it was supposed to be like 3-4 people.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You told me Luke, Bryce, himself. And
what he meant
Mikey.
was 3 or 4 people per car.
Yeah.
It was 5 cars.
Wait, AJ, did Pastrana give you shit for bringing like 30 people with you?
At the time, I don't know, but I think he's come to expect it now because every time I've gone over there, I've had an entourage. That's kind of like my MO, though. I think what happens is I get excited about things. I invite a bunch of people thinking that everyone's going to like have things to do or not want to go. And then everybody says yes. So then I'm like, well.
All right. No.
Well, when you
those people
ask,
are
You
like,
overbooked
inviting
the
people
flight
to Travis Pastrana's house, dude.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I got
come
other
on.
things to do. I
right?
have a
He just
full-time
overbooks the
job that has
flight every
nothing
time.
to do with dirt bikes, and I was like, I'm done. No, I'll quit. I'll quit.
And then like I offered it to sponsors as like an incentive to be a title sponsor or second tier sponsor, whatever for the event, and was like, hey, you know, like at the bottom, you'll be able to go to Pastrana's if you want, thinking that none of them would take advantage of it because they're in the middle of the country, they're God knows where. Every single one of them went as well, so it was like
Weird.
weird.
I
Why
know,
would they
right?
ever want to do that?
Oops.
Imagine that. What are the odds?
Like we know you're popular with dirt bikes, but this is Travis Pastrana
Yeah, right.
at his house that no one goes to unless you're invited, and you invited everyone.
Yeah, it was insane. Also, you know, let's take a step back. So, AJ, we've done straight rhythm the last couple of years. We did the James Stewart throwback, which was epic the first year. What made you want to do Pastrana like the next year? Was it just like an organic, like, okay, well, the next best two-stroke guy, or like I'm a big Pastrana fan since I was a kid? Like, what made you want to do Pastrana, and how did you get hooked up with TP himself?
Well, how did that happen? I would say that like there's a couple key people. There's Jeremy McGrath, there's Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, Travis Pastrana was on that list of like in outdoors, you know how they're doing their, what is it called? The people that are up on the rocks?
The Mount
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
The
What?
homeschool dirt bike
people?
riders, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god.
I knew what it was. I just
How
didn't
how did you guys even gather that from the people up on the rocks?
remember.
You gotta speak fluent
I'm
AJ.
really, really good at trivia.
You got to speak
Yeah.
fluent AJ, dude.
Yeah, I talk with this kid for hours and hours and hours at a time. I've learned that he
the
doesn't know.
people up on the rocks, like they were doing it outdoors, those would be my people on it. Pastrana was always one of them. I got
You think
hooked up
Chad
with
Reed
him.
might be one of the last ones?
What?
You think Chad Reed be on there?
Yeah, Reed would be on there.
Oh.
And there goes my ring. And then I
What?
got hooked up with how
Where
did
was
I
your
get
ring?
Travis? I don't remember. Oh no, you know what? I think I had kind of an idea just pop into my head, and then I text the promoter of Red Bull Straight Rhythm, who is tied in with Red Bull, and assumed that he had Travis's number. He did. He sent a group text with Travis and myself, and Travis responded like within 2 minutes to the text. And then right away, all of it just started taking shape.
I think we were actually on bikes when he responded to you.
Really?
Yeah, we were riding our bikes, and you're like, you just stopped talking and rode on your, rode for like 3 miles on your cell phone. And then all of a sudden you're like, hang on, I'm texting Travis Pastrana. I'm like, oh, do whatever you want. Do what you want.
Yeah, it was it's a pretty special, surreal thing. So fast forward, we all get the invite, we're all heading down. I got my plane ticket the day AJ was like, hey, we're going to Pastrana's as one of the sponsors. As he disappears, one of the sponsors, I was like, yeah, I gotta be there, I gotta go show out. And I mean, obviously Pastrana's house, like, you gotta be there. So we get there, we put the code in, we're driving down the driveway, and I know my feelings. I felt like it was pretty surreal being there. This guy's such a jackass. Being so surreal, driving down the driveway, seeing the ramps, seeing the iconic garage, the foam pit. Like, what feeling did you guys have, like, as we like entered the whole like race shop and saw that stuff? Because we all saw it on Nitro Circus, the video game. Like, what? Yeah, we all did it together. I think we were all in the same truck.
I was in AJ's truck.
We all were in the
Wait,
truck.
are we talking about the first day where we showed up but AJ never scheduled anything to be there and we had to turn around?
And we also didn't know how to open
That
the gate.
counts.
No, I did
First time
schedule,
we saw
but
it.
Travis was late or MIA.
Oh,
No, he
yeah,
had to go. He had to go out to like a rally event or something.
Yeah,
Did
he
we
was
go
stuck
back
in
to
Utah or at an airport. Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
well, the first day that we all saw it, I can't remember which day that was, but the day that we all went there for the first time and like walked into the barn or the garage and saw like all the cool shit that we see on Nitro Circus, the video games, the movies, the exposés, the whole thing. Like, what was your collective thoughts on everything? Start with you, Luke.
Pretty much, it was like the biggest playground I've ever seen. Even just sitting at the gate, his house is right up on the road, and I'm like, you look over to the left, and it's like a sweet little pump track that's like so perfect. Then the gates open up and it's like this giant freaking skate park all made out of woods with some of the biggest jumps over the entire thing I've ever seen. And then honestly, the whole time I was in the garage, I was just like in awe, but also like petrified on like what to do and how casual I can be, and just being like, also laughing at Bryce being the biggest fangirl ever.
I wanted to say it.
Dude, Bryce is just like,
yeah, that's exactly it. Dude, that's exactly it. I couldn't contain myself.
Dude, he was like deer in headlights the whole time.
I wanted to say it, dude. Bryce was so excited. He looked like
I was like a kid in a candy shop. It's like, well, like you said, it's like so iconic. I mean, we all grew up watching Nitro Circus, and he's such an icon. He's a god in all the disciplines that we love. And it's like, to be there was unbelievably surreal. It's like, holy shit, not only is this place real, but it's like we're here. This is it. This is everything. Like the action sports kind of like mecca. And yeah, I was fanboying out pretty damn hard.
Yeah, I was also. I totally was too. I don't know if I outwardly showed it. I was same way.
Like, yeah,
you know what?
We were all just like, you know, little kids going to some like field trip and just being like, oh my god, look at all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And also every single ramp that we saw immediately, I remember talking to Bryce and we looked over next to the foam pit and we're like expecting, you know, normal ramps. No, they're all like 30 feet tall up in the trees, and we're like, so we're not hitting ramps today. We're sure about that. And then you had the dude in the back doing the freaking that huge ramp into the foam or into the airbag. Yeah, dude. Like,
rare that you get that level of excitement as an adult.
Like, yeah, I know.
Giddy, like can't control yourself.
I think the scale, like you touched on it, Luke, like that was unbelievable. Like, it's one thing to see even like freestyle ramps and to see like big doubles and triples and stuff. Like, that's one thing. And it's another thing to see these ramps on TV, but like to be standing like at the base of where like triple backflips are being practiced on, and you look up at it, you're like, how the F are you riding anything up this and launching off of it?
You don't have an appreciation for it until like you're there. Because like I've watched the videos, played the video games. I'm big Pastrana fan. And I'm like, I'd hit that. That's so sick. It'd be so much fun. No, once you go there, you will like even the foam pit entrance, like that lip with the foam pit ramp, that thing was pretty gnarly. Like,
yeah, that was a sick little.
It's a quarter pipe.
Yeah, everything was like just blown up to 1,000,000. It's like, yeah, no wonder they can do triple backflips. The ramp is 90 feet high. Like, that's the least you should be able to do.
Note on that, when we walk in, we meet the dudes, and he's sitting there with his bars bent at like a 90-degree angle, and I'm like, "Did you crash?" He's like, "No, I actually landed perfect. I'm G'ing out so much that it's bending the bars." It's like, dude, like, no, I've never hit anything other than crashing. I've never bent bars. Like,
he was pretty yoked though. I mean, the dude was pretty strapped.
Yes,
so.
He is.
Still, they were nuts, but just the whole thing.
That was insane. So what I have my favorite thing from the entire like race shop garage, which was his coveted Loretta Lynch trophy. I've always wanted to win a Loretta's title since like forever. Like, just be able to see and touch the trophy for me was like the coolest shit ever. Like, what was your one favorite thing from like each and every section? We'll start with you, AJ.
Inside the shop?
Inside the shop.
Trying to think inside the shop. I don't know. I feel like just maybe like nothing super specific. Probably the bikes hanging. It's just things that I remember visualizing from the Nitro Circus videos.
Yeah. So he had hanging from the ceiling. He had hanging from the ceiling his 1999 X Games championship bike.
That was
so like one of the first bikes he did a backflip on ever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like your imitation of Bryce doing this as you walk in, like everything you see, it's like, oh, this is from that. Oh, this is from that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, actually, as you go around the property, it's the same thing. Oh, that's the triple flip, that the Sheehan ramp. That's this, and you start recognizing things as you're going around.
What about you, Bryce?
In the shop, probably like just seeing the Armzilla in person, and like it sticks out like a sore thumb because it's got the flow yellow plastics. It had like, you know, the electric starter, which I think he had just put on it not too recently, like before we got there. Yeah. So like seeing that thing is like, that was pretty dope. But like everybody said, like
800-foot pipe it has on it too.
Yeah, just
and the electric starter.
Of all the bikes line, yeah, of all the bikes lined up, that was obviously a standout. And like AJ and Luke said, like just all the iconic things just hanging from the ceiling and on every wall, and you could see all of like the touches of all the crazy action sports stars who've been in that building and have like made their own little nook of it theirs with a signature or a shirt or a, you know, something like that was pretty cool. I also think I wish somebody had gotten a picture of it. Maybe they did, like the list of rules at being at the compound.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
anybody get it? That was
didn't-
hilarious. There was what, like a 3-page waiver that nobody read, and we all just like
I
blindly
know, we're all
signed,
just
but-
like,
Here's my
Yeah.
life. Here's my life.
but the wall with the written rules that like Travis obviously wrote himself, that was pretty funny. Like you
Yeah.
break it, you buy it. Like you just figure watching this stuff on TV and the way they trash stuff. It's like, oh yeah, they're just getting thrown bikes here. They're, you know, just getting all this stuff given to them. It's like, nope, you trash it. It's on you, dude.
yeah, if he enforced that you break it, you buy it rule, I think Mac would have had to owe him like 2 pit bikes. So
That is true. It might have been a loose rule book.
Yeah.
that was the
Are we
funniest
allowed
thing.
to say all this, by the way? Did we sign an NDA on that document? I don't even remember.
I
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
didn't-
hopefully not.
The best
No.
part about the rules is it was literally, it wasn't paper. It was just the wood wall, and they wrote with pen, like just.
Yeah.
Oh
black
yeah, I
pen
should have
across the
specified
whole
that.
thing.
It was handwritten like real janky on a wall. Yeah.
It was pretty nuts. So throughout the day, like we all got a chance to go scope out the straight rhythm track that we all get to see in the video. We got a chance to kind of ride the compound a little bit on the pit bikes and 4x4s just to like get a scope of the land. We saw what is now the infamous pit bike championship area with all the jumps and stuff. That was really cool to see. And then the next day, we got a chance to film with Pastrana himself. So of the next day, day number 2, what was the most iconic part for you guys? Was it actually just meeting Travis the first time? Was it watching Travis flip? Was it Travis and AJ riding together? Like, what was the coolest part for you guys? Because for me, it was awesome to watch Pastrana flip and then pull around, talk to AJ, and have the iconic shot of AJ, which was like TP when he was 16, versus Pastrana now, like interacting and talking. Like that was probably the coolest thing for me. Bryce, what was like their most memorable thing from day 2 for you?
Probably meeting Travis's mom. Can I say
Dude,
that?
she was so nice. Nicest lady ever.
Okay.
No, she was super nice. In fact, I met her before I met Travis, and it was kind of funny because for whatever reason, and I told her this, I'm like, when I think of her, I think of that moment in the X Games before the double backflip or during, and she's like, like praying to God nothing goes wrong. You can just see the worry of a mother on her face, like she was clearly distraught. And I was like kind of teasing her about that, but that was pretty cool. But and seriously, it's like just meeting Travis and just like immediately recognizing how high energy he is. Like he is like the Energizer Bunny, like crazy and kind of spastic, but like unbelievably nice and humble. Like he just accepted us immediately. Like did not have an air of like this cool guy mentality. Like just super like thanked us for being there. Like thanked us.
The video was
so
for
grateful
us.
for us.
This
Yeah.
wasn't his video. Like this video was for me. It was him doing me a favor at his property. And
it wasn't
Yeah.
wasn't it originally like he's like, yeah, you know, or you were like, you know, if you could come for like 2 or 3 minutes or, you know, 20, 30 minutes or something like that, do a couple shots. He's like, I'll do the whole day. And then he starts throwing out ideas. He's like, hey, let's try this, let's try that. And it's all that. And dude, he sat there all of Sunday.
we went into that not, and I don't know if I expressed this to you guys. We went into that really not knowing if he would spend any time at all with us or if he would even be there at all. I know he said like, hey, come to the property, like I'll show up, see what I can do. But I was thinking like, it's Travis, I'm sure he's busy somewhere. I'm sure he'll get stuck having to fly somewhere or have a commitment. And he just filmed the whole day.
Yeah. The only reason he stopped is because he dislocated his freaking thumb doing a backflip.
Yeah. By the way, like again, he's super nice.
I don't remember
He's
that.
the nicest dude, but his bones just like don't work anymore.
He
Like,
he called it. He's like, I have 3 more jumps until something on my right hand dislocates. He did 1, 2, third one. All of a sudden you just hear burr, and then he rides home. And he's like, yep, dislocated my thumb.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Like it's always gonna be memorable, obviously. AJ, what was like your most memorable thing from day 2? Did you say it already?
Oh, that's tough to point out one thing. The whole experience, like riding side by side was pretty crazy, but in the moment, like you're more focused on what you're doing. Probably just sitting next to him, like and talking while like Luke was taking photos and Jesse was doing the video, and as Travis was like kind of directing the video, I think that was kind of crazy too. He's like, all right, we're gonna do this, you're gonna say this, and then I'm gonna do this. I was like, wow, this is bizarre.
You can tell he's done that before.
Yeah.
I know. First movie ever.
Yeah, he's just directing the whole show. I was like, yep, all right, take it away.
So, what was the coolest part of the compound for you guys?
Man,
Did
you
guys
keep skipping me every single
Oh, okay,
question.
sorry. There,
No, it's okay. I'm just here. I'm just
No, go ahead, Lou. Go ahead.
Unincluded friend. I get it.
He is
Go
just
ahead,
my
Luke.
cycling partner anyway. He's not truly a
Yeah, I'm not even a real
Hung out
friend.
the
I'm
first time the other day.
barely a cycling partner.
Oh, come on.
He's got it hooked up to his trainer now, so I'm off the
Yeah.
books.
Yeah, it's not coming off.
What
You
was
tagged
your,
me in,
what
dude.
was your most favorite memory from the season?
Mine would I just piggyback on AJ, basically just, watching Pastrana ride and just how he is so freaking talented and like just the things he's doing. He's like, oh, he threw a helmet cam on and he's like jumping like a very technical triple section that like AJ wasn't even doing, but to get a cool shot of AJ, Pastrana's like jumping off the jump, landing sideways while turning and looking at AJ the whole time. And I'm over here taking pictures like, this guy is fucking insane. Like it's like effortless to him. And I'm like, I used to be okay at dirt bikes and I'm like, I would never, ever, ever, ever do that. But,
Definitely not.
Yeah.
That's the thing
Also,
too, is like as moto kids, like we think we're gnarly, like, oh dude, like I would hit that, I do this and that. Like you feel so humbled when you're there. You're like, dude, I have zero skills. I am really bad at what I do. And like
AJ's
watching
just like,
Pastrana go out there and do stuff is like, it's crazy.
I have
Yeah.
never felt so mediocre in my entire life as I did that weekend. Like, it's one thing to go out with like local friends and be like the local person that's good, but there it's like I can't do shit.
Yeah, everything is absolute like the top limit no matter what. Like even we're sitting there with Duffy, like just casually talking with this dude that's the first person to ever do a double front flip. Like that's not even real life. Like that's video game stuff, like bad video game stuff. And freaking just everyone there. And then also with just, my whole point of being there was to take pictures and all that stuff. And I thought it was awesome. Got some awesome pictures of AJ and, basically just sitting there, and AJ literally looked like 1999 Travis Pastrana sitting next to, current Pastrana. And it was just like cool as hell just watching that and just watching them, talk and set stuff up and hit big jumps and watch Pastrana do a backflip while AJ's doing a freaking knack behind him.
How cool was that backflip?
It was so subtle. He's just like, oh yeah, he were just, kicked up the lip and he's just like, burp, 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 and that was it. I was like, okay, like yep, okay. I actually missed the first picture.
It was terrifying. Just jump it. Remember when we rolled out there and because I had ridden the track, I think the day before.
Yeah, you didn't even want to hit the jump at first. You were like, that's steep now.
Yeah,
I was scared. It was scary looking.
That's a big jump.
I'll give you that. The track was actually really cool. So a lot of people probably don't know, but Pastrana had the track looked a little bit different than it does normally. So we had a straight rhythm prep setup, and it kind of looped itself around a little bit, which is super cool. AJ, what was like the track like? Like he's an outdoor track. He's got the straight rhythm setup. You rode the whole thing. Like, what was it like to ride on a 125?
Difficult. Definitely very difficult. Hubert's no joke. Like when Hubert builds stuff, he builds it big. Even when we went there for the pit bike, every time you go to Travis's, at least every time I've been there, the property, at least that once you get out back, looks completely different.
Yeah.
So they're changing it on a weekly basis for side-by-sides, pit bikes, dirt bikes, whatever event he has going on. So where the straight rhythm was actually his neighbor's property. Hubert just built a straight rhythm section. He would turn, hit like a tabletop or something, and then into a dragon's back, and then roll. This was the difficult part, is like the whole video that you guys see on YouTube, like the straight rhythm promo, the entire video was filmed in about 12-15 seconds worth of track.
Yeah.
So he was trying to get
it wasn't long.
He was trying to get pictures of Travis and I hitting the same section over and over and over and over. Not to mention we're creating a dust storm every time we go through.
Yeah.
So it was a little warm that day.
And it didn't look that monotonous, I don't think, like watching the video that Jesse made. And that was my concern. I'm like, man, we're just hitting the same rhythm section over and over. But he made the video come out pretty darn cool.
No,
And we went over to hit the ramp a little bit. And I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Travis overshot or cased the ramp really bad. And then we called it.
Yeah, he overshot it.
And that's what Luke said. He dislocated and rode off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he
Guys,
said,
we want to take the time to remind you guys that this is all brought to you by the wonderful folks at Overshare Advice and Planning. If you guys want to save money and get that new gear setup, that new bike, the new setup for the trail or whatever it is, be sure to check out our friends at Overshare Advice and Planning. They can help you get on a financial plan to get yourself allocating your money much better, start saving more money, and you can end up having that new fresh pipe setup, the new fresh suspension, the new bike as these guys are clowning around. Definitely check those guys out. They're big supporters of AJ Catanzaro, the collective experience, and so many other riders, as well as the great folks at Intake Breathing. Now, I know you guys have seen those bands on all of your favorite pro riders, Black Band on the nose. You're wondering, what does it do? Well, it helps to open up your nasal passages and get you the oxygen you need to go the distance. Now, if you use promo code TCE20, you'll be saving 20%, you'll be upping your game, and you'll be leaving your competition in the dust. So please check out Intake Breathing and tell those guys TCE sent you. Now, we're going to be moving on as everyone pretty much disappears on me.
Oh, crap!
He fell. I knew that was coming, dude.
He's the most uncoordinated athlete out of the planet.
I went to my leg and shot, and I just seized up.
Imagine if it
Dave,
ended
Dave,
in Supercross
Dave.
season right there.
Very good ad read. Very good.
Thank you. So we talked about who was the most excited, Bryce. Our favorite part of the shop, our favorite part of the compound. We talked about how cool Pastrana was, how awesome it was to see AJ in the full kit, the 125, all the cool sponsors. Actually, shout out to AGMX because they made all sponsor logos look like Pastrana's old school logos back in the day. I'll tell you what, the TCE logo, very, very hard to work with when you're trying to manipulate it. And those guys did an amazing job. So shout out to Aaron and the boys at AGMX. We had a lot of fun getting everything prepped up. The bike work on its own was a whole different project just to get it ready for the actual the recording day. So at the end of the day, we got a chance to hang out with Pastrana. Guys, you'll remember this very well. And he gave us a tutorial on how to backflip. So I think all of us were pretty freaked out initially. I know I was. That's Luke right there doing his coveted backflip. Luke and Bryce were amped. I will say that. They were the most excited guys to do a backflip. Myself and AJ, we were nervous as hell. AJ maybe even more so than me.
Dude, AJ
AJ changed his diaper like 3 times.
Yeah, so my first thing was when Luke picked me up from the airport, I stayed at Luke's house. I said, Luke, I'm not going to be peer pressured. I'm not going to flip into anything. And of course,
what was my first thing I said? Yeah,
you're flipping.
Right.
Luke. So to give you some background, I met Luke when I was like before I hit puberty.
Jackass racing.
Luke and I would race together all the time. And
I thought you had a ripstick. Well,
yeah, I had a ripstick.
tried.
We worked together.
Never got
it. $4 an hour. And Luke would always peer pressure me into doing things I didn't want to do, but he'd do it in a cool, safe way. So I should have known it was coming. So
the side by side wasn't safe.
Yeah,
that wasn't safe.
There's a whole
caveat. We basically stole a Razor side by side when they first came out, and we hit a stadium Supercross whoop section. Made it to the last 2 whoops until the back end completely broke. So no, we didn't flip. I never flipped.
No, I flipped with Marco. Sorry, that was Marco in the golf.
Oh, man.
We almost flipped. We ended up down the finish line, John.
So yeah, we Luke and I have had our fair share of shenanigans. So I said I was not going to flip. We ended up flipping. Luke gave me the patented look, and I was like, "Crap!" I started putting gear on.
Dave put on every piece of gear.
Yeah, I do remember that.
He was a
wear
legit
wrist brace,
hockey
and I'm pretty
player.
sure he had wrist brace on.
So my boss was super cool about me taking time off to go. Hey, I don't even think he gave me sick days. He's like, "Hey, go to Pastrana's house. That's sick." The one thing he told me, because my job was to ride motorcycles and test them for a living. It was my bread and butter. He was like, "Listen, if you get hurt, that's your ass. Do whatever you got to do to have fun, make memories, get me an autograph. but if you get hurt, you're screwed. So I put on every single piece of equipment I could. I think I had like toe braces. Dude, I had every bit of equipment on. Pastrana laughed at me. I don't care. I was safe. Made it to work the next time.
You also did the best first flip though. You went up and you absolutely killed it. Launched to like the back of the pit. Pastrana was like, "Dude, holy hell!" Like,
yeah, because he didn't even really pull. He just like stayed wide
He
open,
just-
hung on, and it kept going because he caught
Yeah.
so much air.
Dave was full street bike Tommy in it and just didn't go far enough.
He told us, hey, go wide. If you go wide open, like there's no
Yeah.
way you can overshoot. So I was like, all right, that's easy enough. I didn't want to end up like Mac and go halfway up and then just dump the bike. So I was like, might as well send it. So we all did backflips. We all got multiple chances. I didn't want to get risky. I nailed it the first time. It was awesome. Bryce, I'll start with you. Like, how awesome was it to get instruction from Pastrana? How cool was it to do the flip? And how scary was it on your first approach? Give me all three of those.
Okay, so I can't answer the first one without kind of teasing AJ a little bit because
No, go for it. That's why we did this.
AJ had first honors, of course.
Which was
And
I wish I didn't.
listening to Travis explain to AJ how to do it,
It was
you
the most
could
simple
not
thing.
possibly mess it up.
Yeah.
And yet, like, I could see the information going into AJ's brain and it going like this. And he wasn't digesting it.
Or
It's
just
like that part where he's
going
like,
in and
do a
out.
stand-up wheelie at the top. AJ's like, don't I
Yeah.
usually sit down doing wheelies? Like, but I don't even remember what you said. Something we have the whole thing on
he
video.
was like, he kept thinking that he was going to endo. He's like, well, if I do a stand-up wheelie, then I usually drop the front end after.
Yeah, I was just
Because
thinking
AJ got all technical.
literally.
I was like,
that doesn't-
go back.
Yeah, I'm like,
just
dude.
lean back.
I'm like, dude, stand on the pegs in a position like you're about to pull the front up, end up for a wheelie. He's like, but if I go off a jump and my front wheel isn't touching the lip, I'll go this way. So it was just really comical to listen to like what Pastrana was telling him to do, and you could just tell he wasn't getting it. And I was like, wanted to shake him. But I mean, so
What order did you go in, by the way?
I honestly don't even remember.
I think Bryce was after me.
Third or fourth.
So it was AJ, Luke, Bryce.
No, it was
me.
AJ McKenzie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry,
And McKenzie.
Luke.
I think then I went because like no one was saying anything. I'm like, okay, well, I would have gone first, like way before AJ, and Pastrana probably wouldn't even have to tell him anything. I'd just land on my head and try again. But
I think I went,
Dude,
I went second to last. I went before Brittany, I think.
I'll be honest, I was absolutely pumped to flip. I mean, you get a little bit of butterflies, but I feel like I get butterflies hitting anything for the first time. And having never like actually tried to hit a quarter pipe as a jump into a foam pit, you get a little bit of nerves, but I was so stoked to do it. I was like hell bent on doing it. I wasn't like worried about it. Don't let go of the bike. You'll be fine. Right. The only thing, and I never once considered this ever, but somebody said, oh yeah, if you crash in a foam pit, you get stuck on the bike, it catch on fire, and you're gonna burn alive. I'm like, that seems pretty shitty. But Travis pretty much said that's not possible. So I was pumped to flip, and I mean, like I said there, and I'll say it again, like I backflip other things, so I wasn't worried about like backflipping. And I mean, really, like fundamentally, it wasn't that hard. And I know that sounds like really kind of cocky to say, but I promise you, it's just, it really isn't. The ramp did a lot of the work. And as long as you trust that you're landing in a foam pit, don't let go of the bike. Not a lot of bad things can happen if you follow those two rules: land in the pit, don't let go of the bike. It was like, all right, so we're just going to go for it. So you just hold it wide open, like you said, and backflip. It was
two
fun.
pieces of advice I didn't take seriously. I was just like, oh, that's Travis, like just saying Travis thing. But and like if I were to teach somebody to jump into the foam pit now,
I know he was the only one that took that. If Travis Strong gives you advice, you're gonna take the advice.
yeah. See, I'm the only one that didn't take the advice.
AJ's like, no,
Yeah,
he's just messing around.
Immediately
You and
ditch the
Mac.
bike.
You and Mac.
Immediately ditch the bike.
Yeah, because
I
I yanked coming up to the ramp. I'm like, wow, I'm going so fast. Something's not right. I'm going way too fast. And then I yanked, and as soon as I pulled, thanks, Alan. Kinda. As soon as I pulled, everything in my stomach was like, let go, and I just threw it. But then after I did that, and the bike.
The thing is, you were already upside down though. That's
know.
the bad part.
I did the most
You don't
dangerous.
even realize it.
But after I did that, and the bike came down on top of me, and I didn't get hurt, and I got stuck under the bike, and then I realized, oh, it's not bad to be stuck under the bike in the pit. I was like, okay, everything Travis told me is right. Don't miss the pit, which missing the pit was not even on my radar as far as.
No,
The only time I'd
Don't
be
go right.
missing the pit is if I was jumping from a gap going in. I'd be afraid to come up short or something weird.
Yeah.
Missing the pit wasn't on my radar. And then don't let go of the bike didn't process in my brain the first jump in. Like I didn't understand, like, well, how could you, like, what happens if you land upside down? I just didn't understand. And then after that, like, okay, I get it now. And then all of my fear at that point went away. Even when I got on the 125 after that, I wasn't really afraid. Because I'm like, oh, if I land upside down, who cares?
Well, the 125, you literally just killed it immediately. Like you did a picture perfect backflip.
Yeah, because I don't think I was scared at that point. The only thing I did wrong on the 125, because what I started to learn on the 110, which is like what Bryce said, you don't have to, the ramp did the work. On the 110, if I pulled hard, you would do a double. Like, I think I remember the first time I really yanked and then held on, which was attempt 2, I rotated a flip before I was even at the height of my jump. And if I had stayed on, I would have come around and probably landed upside down doing 1.5. So on the 125, I barely pulled. I just kind of looked up.
Yeah.
Still rotated it perfect. It was just, I was pumped watching you guys. Like everyone else got it first try, I think, other than Mackenzie, which was hilarious.
I felt so bad for him.
Scared. I mean, I was kind of scared watching each person, but I could see the confidence building as like, I'm like, all right, certain people I could tell like weren't afraid of, and it wasn't processing. And my brain was thinking of a million different ways to screw up jumping into that foam pit. And then my instinct of like try to correct and keep the bike straight kicked in right when I took off, and I was like, well, then let go.
Like Mackenzie gave me a laugh for about 2 weeks, man.
Oh,
Dude, that was
was
so funny. And the shitty part is everyone kind of touted him for like, oh, he's got it, dude. He's so big, he can just backflip this by like pulling on his pinkies. He's so big and strong, and the dude had the hardest time.
Well, because he would pop off
Travis
right
said
away.
like
The bike
is
would
the
flip.
first time that somebody not only missed the pit, but the bike landed behind where he took off.
Yeah, Travis, that was the first time that ever happened, right?
Yeah.
That's
awesome. I will say, like, I was so nervous that like when I did my jump, I feel like I was the one kid where like everyone's like, all right, Dave's hitting, move in. Everyone from outfield, move in. Dave's doing. I had everyone like.
I was definitely the supported mom out in the outfield that everyone can hear. Then.
Oh yeah, like, dude, Luke was like, "That's my baby, that's my baby." Yeah. But like everyone, like AJ was like on the foam pit, like ready to catch me. Like Pastrana was there, like Bryce.
There was a big crowd by them.
Yeah, Chris was there. Chris O'Connor was there, like trying to like make sure I was like okay, and like yeah, that was probably like one of the most funny things to me of the day. But yeah, we all did a really good job. Like first off, from like jumping in the foam pit for two guys that have never really done this before. So props to everybody. And then another cool part of the day, we all got a chance to go eat at Street Bike Tommy's restaurant, eat like some amazing barbecue, and kind of bullshit with him for the evening. That was really, really fun and really exciting. And of course, all of this culminated into what was probably one of the most memorable straight rhythm events of all time. Everyone remembers AJ's iconic off-track excursion. I'll give a big euphemism.
I should have made that as my background.
That was pretty damn epic.
Dude, I still see that like circulate around. Like you follow the hashtag like dirt bike or motocross. It's like it still trends every once in a while. I'm like, geez Louise.
MX fails or something.
It's one of those things, it'll never go away. Like you've cemented yourself in history.
That was like, that was the biggest get off of all time. And honestly, like not even like just that, the fact that so many people like came up to like the tent. I don't know, like were you guys there? Bryson?
Nope. No.
So many guys came up to the rig and they were like, man, this is the coolest thing. I saw the Pastrana video, or hey, your bike looks just like it. Like it's so cool. And little do they know it was a yellow KTM. But people were so excited that like AJ like recreated Pastrana. Like you could tell it resonated with so many people. AJ, was that like one of the most like, I guess, attention grabbing setups or like events that you were at like in your career?
Yeah. Oh, and it also didn't hurt that Travis and I were like basically pitted together. So I don't know. I would say both between the Stewart straight rhythm and the Pastrana one. At both days and nights, the whole event, the whole video, every single thing leading up to all of it, couldn't have been any better. It to the point where I'm a little. Am I still in this chat?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I lost all of my video. I'm not looking at anything right now.
Oh,
To the point where dude, if they have another one of these, what the heck am I gonna do? Because I said it after the first one, and I somehow won up the James Stewart one with the Pastrana. How do I one up that? That's not possible.
you have to backflip mid-run. That's
Yeah, you have
really
to
the
do
only
something
thing
crazy
you
to
can do.
tackle it. It was, everyone saw it. If you guys watched Straight Rhythm, you saw AJ was like pretty much kicking ass during, was it the semifinal or was it the final? Doing really good. And then he had this huge sender off the track. Like, was that the scariest moment of your life, AJ? Like, how nerve-wracking was that?
Well, so I don't know how many people I've told this to, but the funny, not so funny thing is,
What are you playing, Space Invaders? What are you clicking on?
Oh, there you go.
There we go. I was working so hard to get that on there. I didn't.
It's so freaking hilarious every time I see that.
I didn't have insurance at the time, so all in my the insurance lapsed. I just turned 26, so I went off my parents and I was getting onto alleys. But there was maybe I would have been covered, but there was like a couple months gap where like
I didn't have insurance.
technically I didn't have anything.
Is that what goes through your head?
I'm not even kidding you. It did. I swear it did. Like when my feet got kicked up, this moment right here that you see behind me. In my head, all I thought was, you can't let go. You can't let go. Like, because if I knew I was going to get hurt, I was just like, you cannot let go of this bike. And then magically my feet just came down, and then I had to worry about the next thing, which was launching the wall. And then as soon as I realized like maybe I could save it, I started yanking myself back to the bike, and then realized that there was a huge scaffolding thing to the right, which was like marking the 100-meter or whatever it was. Hit the rear brake, double downshifted to second gear. Like I just went into instinct mode, I guess, and somehow was able to save it. But that moment when my feet were in that's when I was scared.
Yeah, that you honestly
I can see
you
that.
look like a kid on a 65 who's like, dad, like teaching him how to use a clutch for the first time. That little 65 going off the gate.
It was just so unexpected. Everything was going so nicely, and then I just mistimed the dragon's back, and I barely clipped it. But I think what bit me was two things. One, my suspension was the stiffest thing you could ever imagine, ever in the history of dirt bikes. So when I clipped it, that was the one moment where like you would have wanted a softer setup to kind of give you some sort of absorption, but it was so stiff that it immediately just pogoed me. And I could have been okay, but when it pogoed me, I had stock foot pegs and I was riding where I'm supposed to be riding, and the ball was my feet, and my feet just went whoop right off. I don't think that would have happened if I had good foot pegs.
The crazy part about that, AJ just spent like 3 minutes describing it and the process, all of that. That happened in like 4 seconds, and you were back on the track and only like not even a full jump behind freaking, and almost came back.
Still pulled it out. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, like it happened. I was watching it on TV and I was just like, AJ's gonna die. AJ's back on the track now. What just happened? Like, how did that happen?
Like by the time the camera had time to switch the angle, I was already back on the track.
Yeah. Dude, it was like it happened.
It was such a fast.
Another
funny because like
another thought process was in my head as soon as I landed and realized like the bike didn't explode. I somehow kind of rode out of it smooth. The next instant thought in my head was literally I was like, well, what would Travis do? Travis would pin it and get back on the track and just go all out. So I pinned it, got back on, timed it perfectly on the on-off. Like I got right back on a rhythm. And then I did a fist pump over the next ball jump. and skinned the whoops really fast. And I think I only finished like 0.4, 0.3 seconds behind him. Like I was right there. That whole thing is just, when I watch the back, it's hard for me to believe that was me.
At what point did you actually physically realize that your balls were still intact?
I don't think.
When I went into the porta potty before the next run. So I rode back. Travis gave me a hug. I rode back down and I went to the staging area, because that's the even crazier thing is I had to line back up in a minute to go for the next run.
Yeah.
So we got back to the staging, and I had Mackenzie or Jason hold my bike, and I went in the porta potty and just checked to make sure everything was okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, we're good. No, that was, and the cool part was like Pastrana was so like amped that you did that. It was such a Pastrana thing to do. Like you couldn't have emulated Pastrana any more than what you did in that moment. That was awesome. Also, you gave half the team a damn heart attack, because like I was vlogging that whole deal, and the minute I'm like, yeah, we're neck and neck, it's gonna be awesome. His fleet flying off, and I'm like, oh no, my friend, and then like you see the camera running, and the whole crowd's running, dude. It was so nuts, but probably the coolest thing you could have done. And actually, we saw was a pretty good second place, I think, right? That was
second or third or something. I was on the podium. Nothing in my career, I don't think, will ever top that moment. I mean, that was.
I mean, you could win a Supercross. That would be nice.
Yeah, or we could get into rickshaw racing. I'm serious.
I like the rickshaw racing idea.
Exactly.
Let's get on it.
We put up in group chat that we should just ditch the whole mountain bike and dirt bike and just race rickshaws. I would be on Luke's team. Luke and I make a really good damn team, I think.
What is a rickshaw?
Rickshaw.
It's a 3-wheeled cart. They're normally in like Asian countries.
I have to Google it.
Yeah, it's
like, does Red Bull do that event? Where
it's not. I don't think it's called a rickshaw. Rickshaw is like, is it? Rickshaw? Don't you pull it?
No.
Isn't it like one of those things you pull?
Like the name and then Shaw?
What?
Oh, like where you pay people to ride you around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got the seats at the back, and then it's like it's literally one wheel in the front, and then it's like a closed cab. Well, that's how they
pull up this pic.
Yeah.
Weren't those motorized though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a motorized rickshaw.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always called the 3-wheeled ones rickshaws. I might be wrong, and it's the pull behind one or what, but yeah. We're racing. Dave's on my team. You guys are going down hard, like bad. Dave's also going to go down very hard, but I'm gonna win.
Dude, yeah, these things are hilarious.
I'm always the guy that doesn't want to do it and ends up getting hurt or like thrown out or something.
Yeah, so that might be a legit rickshaw. I'm just calling it the wrong.
Yeah, that's a rickshaw. These are just like some 3-wheeled car.
Oh, are they tuk-tuks also? Is that another word?
Yeah, that might be it. Can you clip a video of it in there, like the video I sent?
Why can't you see this?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, I'll try to.
Hey, it won't do it because the virtual background, stupid thing.
We're so good at zooming.
Damn it. Would you guys ever do like moto sidecar? That
looks dope, dude.
No.
That looks dope.
I don't understand.
Driver.
Dude, they hit like 80-foot jumps with a dude hanging off the side.
Yeah, it's nuts. Oh, careful, AJ.
Yeah, dude, it's bad enough. Hitting
don't
stuff up like a quad is
please.
scary enough.
Yeah, please don't move your body, AJ.
Okay, I won't.
Can I reach down?
Oh, sorry, Luke.
Well,
stuck. I don't know.
On my screen, you're in a different spot, Luke. So it looks like you're just touching yourself.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, so all in all, I think this was probably an experience that we will obviously never forget. It was awesome. For me, the cool part was not only being there as supporting sponsor for AJ's whole deal. It was cool being there with Pastrana as well as sharing it with like my buds, you know what I mean? The guys that I talk to on a daily basis. We're always literally going back and forth every 5 minutes. So that was super cool, sharing that with you guys, having Luke there, having Bryce there, the whole crew, everyone cheering each other on, just all of us like sharing it as friends. Like it was such a cool, I know that sounds super cheesy, but like when your buds are there, like amped as you are.
Like the whole foam pit experience too. Like
yeah,
that was
Yeah, no, it 100.
Sure.
It was literally, I know I really more so grew up with Dave and everything, but like, it's literally through that. Like, I met Bryce the day we went there, And it's like I talk to Bryce literally, either directly or indirectly every single day now.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, it was a blast. It was literally like, we were there for a specific event, but it ended up just, even with that, like, it's just like, I'll go on every given day just to go to the track with AJ to take pictures for SGB or something like that. So it's like, it was a freaking blast just, hang out with a bunch of kids that had the same, fun time, want to do backflips and wanted to see Pastrana do cool stuff.
We all got to go back.
For sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Rodbell was there.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Supercross today with Rodbell. We did our first day of Supercross, and he was there last night filming for some Ken Block Pastrana video.
Oh, dude, he's jumping over like the bay in Annapolis. That's going to be unreal.
Wait,
really?
Yeah, I don't
Pastrana, so basically, no. Pastrana's doing a Gymkhana video. You know how like Ken Block does with the rally cars? Pastrana's doing one with the Subaru. They like just built it.
Yeah.
And the car looked like a spaceship.
And he's gonna also use that car for
a fan event that we can go watch him jump the bay, because Rodbell told me about that today.
That'd be cool if he could. We'd have to see.
Is Rodbell in the video?
I don't know what exactly they were filming for, but he said all of like the Gymkhana or whatever all the film crew was at Travis's last night, and I think they said he was drifting the car, or he had that rally car somewhere around that freestyle ramp, and then he had all the bikes like Rodbell and all the Duffy, all those guys jumping over him, or something was going on.
Yeah.
Is this secret information?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
It's probably secret.
Right. Yeah.
It's out now because I ain't caught anybody.
Good job,
hey,
guys.
It's not my YouTube. Not my YouTube.
All right.
Oh, that's awesome. No,
we're never getting an invite back now.
No,
I know.
I just leaked all the
Blow the Gymkhana video. Jeez.
AJ slowly goes like, "Up, see you guys later."
That is a standard thing. Whenever he gets like a cool toy or he's bored on a Tuesday, he'll just go in his driveway and do donuts and freaking drift around.
Did you see him do in the freaking like
the side-by-side
4-seater side-by-side donut? Like
where it's all-wheel drive and he's just doing cyclone donuts.
Oh yeah, Luke sent that to me.
That donut was so fast that I thought it was just gonna rip the thing apart.
So did I do that for you in my STI?
No, we didn't.
Oh, good.
So all-wheel causes, like, that's how you spin that fast? It's because
so it's all-wheel drive. Yeah. So basically, a normal car, when you're doing a donut, the back wheels are just pushing it around, but with the front end, like all-wheel drive, the front end's pulling as well. So it just does a tight circle to where you literally don't like go in different directions. You just stay on one point just doing that.
Sounds like somebody didn't drive their Evo hard enough, AJ.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, dude, you owned an Evo.
I never knew like that tight and crazy of a donut was even a thing. Like I'd never seen anything like that in my life.
So why'd you have an Evo?
Oh, well, dude,
AJ cambered it out and he liked to ride around Portland. That was
circle back.
Anytime I had to pull into a freaking parking lot, I had to like set up wooden planks to get into somewhere. It was a nightmare.
Dave, this is why we're winning the rickshaw race. This is why we're winning, because he can't drive.
Exactly.
I know I'm not pointing.
Do you guys remember his F-150 after the Evo? And how he almost died?
Wait, what happened?
Do you remember that, H? Of course you remember.
Yeah, it fell off the
Dude, it had the lifted F-150. You guys remember that? That was
No.
like,
Yeah,
was it like rhino
one?
lined on the outside? Or no, it was just like green wrap, right?
Was it? Yeah, it was just an army green wrap. It had 40.
And it flipped off of the lift.
Massive.
In the garage.
I had it up on the lift at my uncle's shop. I don't know what I was doing to it. I was doing something on it, and the thing fell.
Not mechanical things.
And I was there all by myself. I like panic called group chat. I was like, "You guys need to come here immediately. The truck is stuck on the lift." Like the only thing that saved it from completely flipping over was the tires were so big. It started to like tumble off of the lift, and then it just caught itself sideways in the tires. And I was just like, "Oh, I don't know how we got it off. I really have no idea."
Lower the lift.
Steve, with no mechanical ability there, somehow got it on the lift.
The poor guy that bought that from you is just like, you did what?
I think I was just.
That's what that hole in the bottom's from.
One owner, barely driven.
Yeah.
I think I was
definitely not flipped off of a lift.
Cleaning the undercarriage. Like I was just
cleaned on carport lift.
I'm sure I have a picture of it somewhere, just like crashed sideways off a lift. Whoops.
I bet you I could find it.
We gotta
I'm gonna
find
send
that
it to you guys.
Hopefully the new owner is listening to that.
That's hilarious. Well, guys, thank you
I gotta
for
go to
joining
bed.
me
Grace.
and allowing me to kind of pick your brains about the Straight Rhythm deal. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to you guys for making that so memorable. And that is a look at behind the scenes of how we planned up the Travis Pastrana tribute at Pastrana Land. Be sure to check out thecollectedxp.com for more content, for more experiences where you guys can actually join us for stuff like this for next season and hopefully seasons to come. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you, Luke. And we will talk to you guys.
Wait, I didn't get to say my favorite backflip thing.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just kidding. Go.
We're done. Thank you.
Wait. For anybody interested, season 3 of Behind the Gate drops September 2021.
Maybe I'll actually make one.
Finally,
I'll make one.
Finally,
Maybe I'll get invited. Maybe I'll get invited.
Check it out, guys.
We only have interesting guests on, Luke, okay?
Content, and thank you for joining us.
All right, toodaloo.
That's honestly like probably his best work though, man. He puts this is cool. This is really good. You guys been up top? Is for me because you got to actually pull the bike like back to you with that foot. If you have new boots or old, go. All right, I want this thing to come off the ground. 1, 2, 3, backflip. There you go. You see how that came off the ground? That's a stand-up wheelie. 1, 2, 3, backflip. There you go. That's a perfect backflip. You do that the first time you set. You pulled that hard. It's a backflip on a motorcycle. It's not at all what I expected. Let's go!
Hey, sir. What are you doing in here?
How was the night?
Totally I mean, that was better than winning, ultimately. I mean, like, for me to do something like that, I still, like, obviously have not processed it, and everything is really starting to hurt now that I sit here, but pretty awesome.